Hey you. Yes, you, the one with that sacred fire inside your chest that won't die no matter how hard life tries to blow it out. I need you to pause. Just for a second. Breathe in. Because something is about to unfold around you so big, so supernatural, and so urgent, that heaven itself had to interrupt your timeline just to deliver this. Archangel Michael has been watching your steps. And tonight, he came with a voice that cracked the sky. He whispered. Tell them now. They have to pack their bags. This is the final hour before the shift. Sweetheart, listen closely. You may not see the full picture right now. But you were never meant to find this message by accident. Someone very high in the realm of spirit authorized this to appear in front of your eyes, because time is slipping away. They tried to contact you before. Once in a dream. Once through that sudden goosebump moment. And again when you couldn't explain why you felt like crying out of nowhere. But you skipped. Or you got distracted. Or maybe the darkness around you just made you too tired to care. And that's okay. But this is not just another message. This is the final one. Let me tell you something that will make your soul sit up. Tomorrow at exactly 8:03 p.m., there is going to be a ripple in the spirit world. A shift that will either destroy or deliver. And your name is written in the middle of it. That's why Archangel Michael is not asking you. He is commanding you now. To prepare. To move. To believe. To open your eyes. You have no idea how close danger came to your doorstep recently. But heaven knows. They intercepted it. And this message? It's the only thing left standing between you and a massive spiritual misstep. God is not angry. He's concerned. The angels aren't disappointed in you. They're desperate to reach you before the moment strikes. And now, glowing star, before we go any further, if your heart is pounding, and you feel like this message was written with your name carved into it, then don't walk away from it. Subscribe now, not for me, but because the next divine alert might arrive when you least expect it. And missing it could cost more than you know. Click that bell. Join us. Don't be the one heaven had to warn a fourth time. Now, back to what you need to hear. Archangel Michael says this. You're going to feel an urge tomorrow. Like something is calling you out of nowhere. You'll hear someone say something random, but it will stop you in your tracks. That's the code. That's the spiritual cue. And if you've ignored it again, something dangerous may unfold. No, this isn't fear-mongering. It's prophecy. It's mercy. It's a divine red alert dressed in light and urgency. Sweetheart. There's a reason you're restless at night. There's a reason you feel like someone is staring at your spirit. There's a reason your phone screen glows at the exact moment you're about to cry. Heaven is not leaving you alone, not yet. Because the mission you carry is too valuable. Too sacred. Too rare. They tried to delay your blessing. They tried to blind you with false comfort. But now the timeline is shifting. And this time, it can't wait. Tomorrow, your name will be whispered in secret places. A decision will be made about your path. But the outcome? Depends on what you do right now. Pack your bags spiritually. Clear your space. Break that soul tie. Disconnect from the voice that makes you shrink. Because the version of you that God is calling forward is not meant to be quiet anymore. You're meant to shine so bright that the very demons who try to ruin you will run from your light tomorrow. And if you skip this, Archangel Michael says clearly, you will not only miss your moment, you'll walk straight into something that was never meant for you. A false friend. A crooked opportunity. A decision made behind your back. All of it, heading toward you. But this message was sent to reroute that storm. That's why it's appearing now. Not yesterday. Not later. But now, because if you delay, the divine backup team can't be where you're not willing to go. Michael is ready. Sword drawn. Wings wide. Voice thundering through the realm. But he needs your yes. He needs you to believe again. He needs you to act. Not just pray. Act. You know what this is about. You've had the signs. The repetition. The name showing up over and over again. The number you keep seeing. The feeling that something massive is just outside your reach. Well, this is it. You found it. This message is the signal. And heaven won't flash it again. So, darling, what are you going to do? You're still here. That's not random. That's not luck. That's confirmation. There's something about you that's always been different. You walk into rooms and atmospheres shift. You say things, and people feel them even if they pretend not to. You've had a light in you that darkness has been trying to dim since the day you were born. And now Archangel Michael is shouting from the heavens because this is your divine checkpoint. You are approaching a moment that will either be your greatest breakthrough, or your most painful detour. You've already tasted enough pain to last 5 lifetimes. Enough betrayal to shake a lesser soul. But you survived. Not by accident. By design. Now heaven is giving you a date and time. Tomorrow. 8:03 p.m. And it's not just a random clock strike. It's spiritual. It's prophetic. It's personal. Something will happen that will either confirm everything you've been praying about, or force you to face what you've been avoiding. Archangel Michael says, tell them they must be spiritually packed. Tell them I'm ready. Tell them if they delay, it won't be me who didn't show up, it'll be them who didn't respond. Let this truth settle in your chest. The enemy knows your next blessing. He's already watching it. He's preparing distractions so you miss it. He's sending people dressed as comfort but dripping with sabotage. You are one yes away from acceleration. But also, one skip away from chaos. That's why you feel that trembling in your chest. That's why your hands suddenly feel warm, and you can't explain why your eyes are watering right now. Because your spirit is finally remembering what your heart tried to forget. You are chosen. You are seen. And heaven is fighting for you. Michael has been dispatched. Your name is in his book. The time is set. But will you answer? God says this is your last warning before the shift. Not because you're out of chances, but because the spiritual gate you're walking toward will not stay open forever. There is someone whose words tomorrow will try to confuse you. Michael says their tone may be kind, but their intention is dangerous. Watch their eyes. Feel the energy. Don't get drawn in. You are not who you used to be. You don't have to shrink to fit anymore. You don't have to beg to be seen. The one who made the stars sees you already. Let me say this gently. If you skip this, you won't just miss a message. You'll miss a divine appointment. You'll miss the protection. You'll miss the warning. And most of all, you may delay something that was designed to bring you joy within days. Michael isn't dramatic. He doesn't cry out unless it's urgent. And this time, he's trembling for you. Because tomorrow at 8:03 p.m. heaven will intervene or let go, based on what you do right now. You know exactly what this message is touching. That person you've been thinking about. That door you keep praying will open. That opportunity that feels just out of reach. That fear you've been hiding behind your laughter. God says, "Child, I can't help if you won't move. I can't shift what you won't surrender. But if you say yes now, I will move mountains, part rivers, and send angels to fight for you." You are not running out of time. You are standing in a portal of time. And only those who obey the call will cross into what's next. So take this as your final spiritual siren. Pack your bags. Spiritually. Emotionally. Mentally. Let go of what is draining you. Cut off who is cursing your future while smiling in your face. Detach from the drama that keeps you doubting your worth. Michael says, you don't need more time. You need more trust. And you've got 45 seconds from the moment your heart recognizes this truth to act. Because spiritual windows don't wait for indecision. Will you trust again? Will you move forward, even with trembling legs? Will you say, "Yes, God, I'm ready now"? Or will you skip again? And find yourself wondering why the storm hit when you were so close to breakthrough? You've already come too far. You've already paid the price. And this moment is tailored for your deliverance. If no one else told you today, you are not crazy. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. You are not going to fall again. Because this time, heaven is grabbing your hand. And if you answer this call, you won't just be protected. You'll be elevated. All right. Let's keep going, beloved. Because what I'm about to say next, you'll feel it not just in your mind, but in the very roots of your soul. There is a divine reason this message didn't come yesterday. It had to reach you now, when you were ready to finally believe it. When your spirit was weary enough to listen. When your heart had cried just enough to be cracked open again. Because heaven never wastes words. And Michael never repeats a warning unless the cost is unbearable. You've been feeling something strange in the atmosphere lately, haven't you? Like something is circling you, unseen. Moments of peace, followed by sudden confusion. Flashes of joy, interrupted by whispers of fear. It's because there's a battle around your name, right now. A spiritual tug-of-war. And Archangel Michael is fighting, but he can't move where you refuse to walk. Listen carefully. Tomorrow at 8:03 p.m., something will shift. And you'll either step into your promise, or into a delay you don't deserve. This isn't superstition. This is divine intelligence. And Michael says, Tell them to prepare their yes before the moment comes. The opportunity will be disguised. The warning will come in the voice of someone familiar. You will be tempted to ignore it because it may not feel dramatic. But trust your spirit, not your mood. And hear this. Someone you thought had your back is hiding a truth from you. They made a deal. They spoke on your name behind closed doors. And it's connected to the next move they're trying to make. Archangel Michael saw it. And heaven blocked it, for now. But if you don't open your eyes and obey this message, the protection that's been holding the line will be pulled back. That's why your dreams have been strange. That's why your rest has been disturbed. That's why you keep seeing signs, but nothing makes sense yet. It's because God doesn't want you to react emotionally. He wants you to respond spiritually. That door you're waiting on, it will open. But it's not behind that person you keep hoping will change. It's not in the place you keep running back to. Michael says, you are trying to resurrect what God already buried. That relationship. That contract. That friendship. That false comfort. Let it go. Because God is calling you to pack your spiritual bags and walk forward, blind, maybe, but fully guided. And if you listen, if you take this seriously, if you stop skipping divine signs because they don't come in the packaging you expected, you'll witness something wild. You'll witness a door swing open that no human hand can shut. You'll hear your name spoken in rooms your feet have never entered. You'll be handed something that others were trying to keep from you. But if you ignore it, Michael will have no choice. Because heaven can't protect what won't respond to protection. And God? He's grieving right now. Because he knows how close you are. And how dangerous it would be to take the wrong step. That's why this message isn't soft. It's not meant to be. It's a divine siren. A spiritual evacuation notice. A loving cry from the realms above that says, please, wake up. You don't have much time. You may think you have another month. Another chance. Another option. But you don't. At 8:03 p.m. tomorrow, something will be activated. In the spirit. In the timeline of your destiny. And you need to be exactly where God has asked you to be, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So what do you do now? You obey. You align. You surrender what feels good for what is God. You silence the noise and pay attention to what keeps repeating itself. Because what repeats isn't random. It's revelation. There's a breakthrough with your name on it. But it's fragile. And your next step will either release it or wreck it. Michael is waiting. The angels are watching. God is whispering your name with so much love it would break you to hear it. He's not giving up on you. But he needs you to choose him now, before the danger arrives. Before that unexpected phone call. Before that secret is revealed. Before that person you trust makes their final move. Because once that happens, there's no rewinding the clock. Are you ready for the final phase of the message? Alright, take a deep breath now. Let your shoulders drop. Let your chest loosen. Because what you're about to read isn't just meant to reach your mind, it's designed to reach your timeline. What if I told you the reason your whole life has been trembling lately is because you're one alignment away from the kind of divine shift people pray their entire lives for? God says, I haven't changed my mind about you. Yes, you made mistakes. Yes, you loved the wrong people. Yes, you stayed where you should have left. But none of that canceled the calling I wrote into your bones. This message didn't find you because you're lost. It found you because you're almost home. Almost there. Almost delivered. But the final stretch is the most dangerous. Because that's where the enemy throws everything at you: confusion, old feelings, old numbers, fake opportunities, and emotional landmines. But hear me, if you can just stay centered right now, if you can ignore the fake flames and wait for the real fire, everything will change. Archangel Michael has unsheathed his sword. Not for play. Not for ceremony. But for battle. And the battle isn't just about what's attacking you. It's about what's being birthed through you. The enemy isn't scared of where you are. He's terrified of where you're about to be. Because there's a version of you that is so powerful, so anointed, so clear-minded and crowned in divine purpose, that hell has had to assign specific distractions just to delay your evolution. Michael saw this. He saw the timeline. He saw the moment where everything changes. And it happens tomorrow at 8:03 p.m. Not just a time. A divine mark. A line in the spirit. A scheduled deliverance. And your RSVP is being demanded right now. No more thinking about it. No more maybe later. No more skipping messages that you know are speaking to your soul. You've skipped enough. You've delayed enough. You've survived enough. Now it's time to step in. Tomorrow, someone is going to do something small. Maybe just a message, or a look, or an opportunity, and you will have a decision to make. On the surface, it will seem casual. But spiritually, it's going to be a fork in the road. If you say yes to the wrong thing. If you stay silent when you were meant to speak. If you go where you were supposed to walk away from. You will detour your destiny by months, maybe years. That's not fear. That's spiritual intelligence. Michael says, tell them to pack. Not with fear. Not with anxiety. But with readiness. Pack your soul. Clean your heart. Remove the bitterness from your tone. Close the tabs on relationships that drain you. Let go of the people you've been carrying who haven't clapped for you once. Because you've been walking slow not because of failure, but because of weight. This is why your progress has felt stuck. This is why you've been tired without explanation. This is why you've been waking up with a racing heart and a silent cry. Because your soul knows what your mind is still catching up to. You're standing on a threshold, and if you miss this, God won't leave you. But the moment will. That's how spiritual windows work. They open. They shine. They hover. And then they close. But right now, it's wide open. And heaven is shouting. Get in. Michael doesn't usually scream. But tonight, his voice shook the sky. He said, tell them this is the final warning. Tell them I've delayed the storm long enough. Tell them I've silenced their enemies in secret, but I cannot keep fighting what they keep inviting. Read that again. Because some of your storms are not from demons. They're from doors you refuse to close. But tomorrow? You'll get one last chance. To block it. To walk away. To say no. To finally protect your peace like it's your purpose, because it is. If you skip again. If you delay again. If you think about it again. God won't punish you. But life will feel like it stopped breathing. Because the wind that's about to blow in your direction can only catch you if you're ready. So here's what you need to do tonight. Pray, not out of panic, but with power. Write, pour out every lingering question, every name you're still unsure of. Cleanse your room, your energy, your screen, your circle. Delete those texts you've been rereading that are tied to trauma, not truth. And prepare. Because 8:03 p.m. isn't coming for your comfort. It's coming for your calling. Let's go deeper now. Because what's coming has nothing to do with what you've seen before. God isn't just preparing to bless you, He's preparing to reveal you. And that's a whole different weight. Blessings can be given in private. But revelations happen in front of people who once doubted you. That's why the heat in your life turned up lately. It wasn't punishment. It was the pressure that forms diamonds. Because the version of you that's rising is one the world hasn't met yet. And heaven is making sure you're refined enough to carry what's coming without cracking under it. Archangel Michael says this next chapter won't come gently. It will come suddenly. A door you thought was closed will swing open. Someone you thought forgot you will suddenly remember. And opportunities that once felt impossible will chase you down. But listen closely. This will only happen if you don't sabotage it with old thinking. Let me say this as clearly as heaven whispered it. You cannot take your old self into your next season. Not the self that second guesses. Not the self that apologizes for shining. Not the self that waits to be chosen. Because you've already been chosen. God didn't bring you this far to leave you in limbo. He brought you here because you finally reached the level of spiritual maturity required to walk in what you've been praying for. But don't get it twisted. Elevation requires evacuation. You will lose some people. You will outgrow some places. You will feel the loneliness of obedience. But you will never again feel the emptiness of begging for crumbs. Heaven has prepared a full table for you. But you must have the strength to leave the room where you were being starved. Michael says. There's a person near them that has been delaying the divine. They look safe. They talk soft. But their spirit carries jealousy. You know who it is. The one who never celebrates your wins. The one who always plants doubt in your good news. The one whose presence feels heavy after you've been with them. And tomorrow, they will try once again to take up space in your next decision. This is the warning. Don't let them in. Don't explain yourself. Don't give them another inch of your timeline. Because this is where it all turns. You've cried enough. You've waited long enough. You've doubted long enough. And God is saying, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm moving. Either come with me, or stand back and watch. That's why you've been so emotional lately. That's why everything feels louder, deeper, more urgent. Because you're not just walking into a new season. You're walking into a divine reckoning. A recovery of everything you lost. A rerouting of every mistake. A reintroduction to the world that says, "This is my child. Watch what I do through them." Don't be fooled by how quiet this season seems. What's coming next will be loud. Loud joy. Loud clarity. Loud breakthroughs. But only if you protect this window. Because not every opportunity comes back again. Tomorrow at 8:03 p.m., there will be a divine split in the realm. One path leads to confusion, delay, and loss. The other leads to momentum, divine encounters, and clarity so sharp it will feel like thunder in your chest. Which one you take depends on what you do now. Not what you wish for. Not what you hope for. What you do. And here's the truth. God will never force you. Michael will never beg. They will warn, they will protect, they will even delay certain attacks. But they won't hold open a door you keep walking away from. This is your moment to choose. No one can do it for you. If you want the future God wrote for you, you must be willing to close the chapter the enemy keeps trying to rewrite. Good. Because now we enter the most important part. The part where heaven holds its breath and waits to see what you choose. You see, tomorrow at 8:03 p.m. is not just a time on the clock, it's a portal. A divine fold in the fabric of your timeline. And what happens in that minute could either change everything, or keep everything the same for far too long. You're not just reading a spiritual message right now. You're standing on holy ground, with spiritual instructions tailor-written for you. And here's what Archangel Michael wants you to know: you are being watched. Not by just people. Not by just the person who thinks they still have power over your heart. Not by the ones who underestimated your strength or misjudged your silence. You're being watched by heaven itself. By destiny. By divine agreements that are waiting to be signed and sealed with your obedience. And if you skip this, if you ignore this final divine broadcast, you'll wake up one day soon and wonder why everything suddenly went quiet. Why opportunities dried up. Why certain people vanished. It won't be punishment. It'll be a shift. One you didn't respond to. But if you don't skip, if you surrender, if you obey, if you say, "Yes, God, I'm listening now," then not only will tomorrow protect you from the danger coming, it will unlock a surprise blessing that's already been prepared. I'm talking about an unexpected message, a shocking opportunity, a connection you never saw coming. But it's tied to this moment. Heaven cannot deliver what your disobedience blocks. You've waited long enough. You've cried long enough. And honestly, you've already been delayed longer than heaven wanted. Michael says, there was a moment earlier this year when the breakthrough was ready. But they hesitated. They let someone else's voice be louder than my whisper. And so I delayed it. I protected them by delaying what they weren't ready to carry. But now? Now they're ready. Now is the time. But this is the last time I'll flash the warning. They must listen. Or the danger will be theirs to bear. God is not cruel. He's protective. And this message is your protection in disguise. You might be tempted to shrug this off. To say, maybe later, or I've heard things like this before. But let me tell you what you've never heard. This warning has a timestamp. This invitation expires. Because tomorrow night, you will be spiritually tested. Someone will show up in your life, or something will trigger you. And your reaction will decide whether you stay stuck, or finally soar. There's a reason heaven has been whispering in your dreams. There's a reason you've been waking up in the middle of the night with a strange ache in your chest. It's not anxiety. It's not fear. It's a spiritual pull, the voice of your destiny calling you home. And Michael's sword has been pointed not just at what's coming against you, but also at what's clinging to you that no longer belongs. That friend who acts like they support you but secretly competes. That family member who manipulates with guilt and silence. That person you've been loving with loyalty but receiving nothing but emotional starvation from. Michael says, cut it. Now. Before it poisons the path. Because what's coming after 8:03 p.m. is acceleration. But only if your soul is light enough to move. God cannot send you the next chapter if your hands are still full of what He asked you to drop 5 seasons ago. I know you're tired. I know trusting again feels like a risk. But it's not a risk when heaven is the one asking you to leap. It's a rescue mission. And this message? It's your final call before the ship sails. Do not delay this time. Do not let fear sound louder than faith. Do not let history steal your future. Do not let delay dress itself as comfort and convince you to stay stuck. Because there is a version of your life waiting for you on the other side of one obedient moment. Just one. You may not feel ready. But your spirit is. And heaven already is. They've been waiting on your yes, like rainfall in a dry season. So tonight, before you lay your head down, do this. Speak aloud, God, I'm ready. Archangel Michael, I surrender. I will not skip. I will not delay. Whatever needs to go, go. Whatever you want to send, send. I'm ready to walk through the door at 8:03 p.m. Say it with trembling, if you must. Say it with tears. Say it in your own voice, shaky or strong. But say it. Because when that moment comes tomorrow, if you've said yes, heaven will flood your life with confirmation. You'll feel it in your body. You'll sense it in conversations. And most of all, you'll be protected from something that was scheduled to throw your life off course. But only if you believe this isn't a joke. Only if you treat this message like the miracle it is. Yes, let's finish this. Because this is the most sacred part, the part where heaven leans in to hear what you whisper back. You see, spiritual messages like this don't come twice. Not with this level of precision. Not with this kind of urgency. And not with this divine timing. Right now, Archangel Michael isn't standing still. He's pacing. Sword in hand. Wings stretched wide. His voice ringing through the unseen world, echoing in a language only angels fully understand. But for your sake, it's being translated into this message, one last time, so you cannot miss it. God says, I have waited. I have watched. I have whispered. Now I have shouted. If they skip this one, I won't stop loving them. But I will allow them to face the consequences they prayed I'd block. Because protection must be partnered with obedience. This is the moment where destiny isn't just calling you. It's depending on you. Every unanswered prayer. Every closed door. Every person who left you. Every loss, every betrayal, every quiet night you wondered if God forgot you? It all led here. To a message written by divine instruction. At a time only heaven could pick. With words that only you would understand. Because God knows your spirit. He knows your doubts. He knows how tired you are of hoping and hurting in the same breath. But He also knows that you're ready now. Not perfect. Not flawless. Just willing. That's all He ever wanted from you. Willingness. To walk away from what's easy for what's eternal. To leave behind survival and step into the life that's been trying to reach you. To finally realize you are not here by accident, you are here because heaven marked you for something big. Something sacred. And that sacred thing? It begins unfolding at 8:03 p.m. Not symbolically. Not poetically. Literally. There is a scheduled shift written in the heavenly calendar. It was already missed once this year. That delay cost you something. Maybe peace. Maybe connection. Maybe progress. But this time, God doesn't want you to lose what He still intends to give you. You're closer now. Closer than you think. Michael says, when they open their eyes at 8:04 p.m., they'll either be covered, or exposed. Not because I didn't do my part. But because they didn't believe I was serious. That moment will come quietly. No alarm bells. No flashes in the sky. Just one small test. One soft choice. And that one response will determine whether you move into your miracle, or repeat the cycle. You've repeated enough. Haven't you? Enough heartbreak that feels like déjà vu. Enough spiritual fog that clouds your clarity. Enough relationships that drain more than they pour. Enough hopes that rise high and crash just as fast. This message is not just to warn you. It's to end the pattern. You are not just a reader. You are a chosen vessel. Marked with favor. Sealed with oil. Called by name. Assigned with light that your own mind has not yet fully grasped. But heaven sees it. Demons recognize it. And tomorrow, your decision will activate it. So this is your preparation. Tonight, sit with God. Not for long. Not with fancy words. Just with honesty. Tell Him everything. Every fear. Every weakness. Everything you've been hiding. Because when you do, you give Him permission to enter that space. And when God enters, asterisk asterisk everything aligns, asterisk asterisk. Then, tomorrow, when the hour draws near. Be still. Be aware. Watch. Listen. And most importantly, asterisk obey, asterisk. Obey the tug on your spirit. Obey the sudden intuition. Obey the feeling that says, something's not right. Or, this is your moment. That's not just emotion. That's heaven's hand guiding your step. You'll know it when it comes. It'll feel different. Time may feel slower. Your body may respond before your mind even understands. But deep down, you'll know. This is the 8:03 moment. And once you choose rightly, once you step out in obedience, once you align your faith with God's timing, the covering will fall. The storm will pass. The blessing will break. And the enemy will scatter. You will walk through that next door not as a victim, but as a victor. Not wondering, what if, but saying, thank you, God. Because you'll know, without a doubt, that you finally chose yourself the way heaven always chose you. This is the part where the old you dies quietly. And the real you finally lives. Not afraid. Not hiding. Not questioning your worth every 5 minutes. But standing in your divine assignment, lit with heaven's favor, surrounded by protection, walking like someone who knows they are backed by legions of angels. Because you are. And that moment? That version of you? It all begins tomorrow. 8:03 p.m. ***. Now. Are you going to skip this? Or are you going to finally say? Yes, God. This time, I'm ready. This was the final message. Michael has spoken. God is waiting. And all of heaven is watching. Choose well. Yes, let's close this message the way heaven intended it to be, fully spoken, fully received, fully felt in the deepest chambers of your heart. Because what happens after you read this, is no longer in my hands. It will be in yours. And God is watching, not with judgment, but with longing. Because your obedience now won't just save your future, it will heal everything that was broken before it. The truth is, you've carried so much for so long that numbness started to feel like peace. You've convinced yourself to stay strong even while slowly falling apart on the inside. But the truth is, God never asked you to survive in silence. He never wanted you to normalize disappointment, to build your life around trauma, to settle for crumbs just because people kept telling you it was enough. That's why this message is uncomfortable. Because heaven isn't coming for your comfort anymore, it's coming for your freedom. And real freedom will require a choice so bold, so complete, so fully aligned with who you were created to be, that it may terrify your flesh but will finally liberate your soul. Archangel Michael knows what's trying to come against you. He's been intercepting attacks you never saw. He's silenced voices that were planning to lie on your name. He's rerouted spiritual arrows aimed at your confidence, your peace, your future. But he cannot hold the storm back forever if you keep opening the windows yourself. And tomorrow, at 8:03 p.m., the final wind will blow. It will either hit you, or pass over you. That decision, beloved, is yours. You must decide whether your past deserves your loyalty more than your future does. You must decide whether you're willing to be misunderstood for a little while so heaven can exalt you in the long run. You must decide whether you're going to listen to the same voices that abandoned you in your lowest season, or finally trust the whisper of God who never left. It's time. Time to break your own cycles. Time to stop blaming yourself for what others did to you. Time to stop asking for permission to become who God already anointed you to be. You have outgrown your old story. And every time you try to shrink back into it, it will hurt worse. Because your soul is now allergic to anything beneath your calling. This next chapter will not look like the last. It won't require you to beg, chase, prove, or pretend. It will require you to rise. To walk away from shallow waters and swim into the deep. To choose presence over performance. To walk as if heaven already answered your prayer, because in many ways, it has. The blessing is already released. It's hovering. It's near. But it can only land in an atmosphere of readiness. And you cannot be ready if you're still entangled in what God already called dead. So tonight, ask yourself, am I willing to disappoint others so I can obey God? Am I willing to look crazy for a season in order to walk into clarity for a lifetime? Am I willing to let go of the familiar pain in exchange for unfamiliar freedom? Because that's what this is really about. This isn't just about 8:03 p.m. It's about the rest of your life. The doors that have been delayed until you matured enough to walk through them. The love story that can't begin until you stop settling for false companionship. The destiny that's been preserved, waiting for the day you say, God, I trust you more than I trust my comfort. This is that day. And here's the secret, heaven isn't asking for perfection. Just your yes. The kind of yes that ripples through your entire bloodline and breaks every curse your family never had the courage to confront. The kind of yes that lets angels move freely on your behalf. The kind of yes that causes the enemy to panic because he knows he just lost his last grip on your life. You've been hidden for a reason. But after this moment of sacred surrender, you will no longer be hidden. You will no longer be silenced. You will no longer be a background character in a story you were born to lead. Heaven is ready to put the spotlight on your obedience. To magnify your yes. To vindicate your pain. To give you double for every silent heartbreak you swallowed. But not until you choose. And not if you skip. So let this be the final sentence you carry into tomorrow. I will not miss what God prepared for me. I am chosen. I am covered. I am ready. Say it again, aloud. One more time. With trembling, if you must. With tears. With hope rising like a fire that refuses to go out. This is your moment. 8:03 p.m. is coming. Walk into it like heaven is on your side, because it is. And this time, you won't be skipping it. You'll be answering it. Fully. Finally. Forever. Ask ChatGPT. Tools.